Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I recently uploaded a video about my 106-pound weight loss journey, and in it I talked about how I combined the keto diet and the Mediterranean diet. Ever since uploading that video, I have gotten so many questions about how you combine the keto diet and the Mediterranean diet. A lot of people were asking me, how can you do that when the Mediterranean diet is full of whole grains and fruits, and the Mediterranean diet is definitely not a low carb diet? How would you combine the two? You can't do both. Yes, you can. So I am making this video to teach you how I combined both the ketogenic diet and the Mediterranean diet together, and that is the diet I used to lose 106 pounds, and that is still the way that I continue to eat today, which is why I have maintained that weight loss for 5 years. Now that I've kept this weight off for a while, my diet is more like a low carb Mediterranean, not necessarily always keto. But in the beginning of my weight loss journey, for those first 6 months, it was definitely a strict keto Mediterranean style of eating. If you want to hear my full story on my weight loss journey, I will link that video below in the description so you can watch that after this video. I'm going to explain a little bit about the keto diet versus the Mediterranean diet, and then I'm also going to give you a 5-day meal plan so that way you can use that to help jumpstart your journey if you feel like this way of eating is right for you. I am not a doctor. I'm not telling you that this is going to work for you. However, it has worked for a lot of people that I know, and it definitely works for me. So hopefully you can get some inspiration out of this video and some motivation and some good, yummy recipe ideas. Okay, so we all know the keto diet. The principles behind the keto diet are to get your body into a state of ketosis where your body is burning fat for fuel. So you eliminate or extremely limit the carbs in your diet so that way your main source of fuel is fat. You eat moderate protein, extremely low carb, and pretty high fat in a ketogenic diet. Now, the Mediterranean diet focuses on eating fresh, whole foods. Yes, it is true that the Mediterranean diet is also known for eating a lot of fruit and also whole grains. However, the Mediterranean diet does not shy away from fat either. The Mediterranean diet incorporates a lot of extra virgin olive oil and also cheeses, primarily goat and sheep cheese. So what if we took the Mediterranean diet and we kept all of those principles except for we took out the grains? Is that keto now? Yes. Is it still the Mediterranean diet? I would argue also yes. So picture this meal: a nice salmon fillet served with a side of Greek salad that might be a couple of chopped tomatoes, chopped cucumbers, chopped olives, some feta, and it's served with some freshly made pita bread. Is that a Mediterranean meal? Yes. Oh, and it's all drizzled in olive oil. That is a Mediterranean meal. If you take away the pita bread, but you keep everything else, is it still a Mediterranean meal? Yes. Is it also now a ketogenic meal? Also, yes. So you can kind of see where I'm going with this. It's about combining the two principles. The reason I chose to eat this way when I was going through my weight loss journey is because I wasn't a fan of the mainstream keto. There was this big movement of things called lazy keto and dirty keto where people, yes, were losing weight, but there was still an abundance of processed foods, and I didn't love that. There are endless snacks on the market marketed as keto that have wild amounts of fiber, like way more than you should just eat in one sitting, and wild amounts of sugar alcohols, which will upset your stomach if you have it in excess all in one sitting. Also, there's still chemicals. The food is still highly processed, and I was really trying to get away from that. So when I came across the Mediterranean diet or the Mediterranean style of eating, I really liked the fact that everything was fresh and high quality, but I had some insulin issues. I was becoming insulin resistant. Well, I was insulin resistant. And so I really needed to back off the carbs because my body did not process carbs the same way as a healthy person. So I took the Mediterranean diet and just removed the carbs. And that is the way that I ate. And that is how I lost all that weight fairly quickly. I also really loved the fact that in the Mediterranean diet, you consume a lot of extra virgin olive oil. I buy the highest quality, freshest olive oil I can find. And the reason I like olive oil so much is because there are so many amazing benefits. It is a monounsaturated fat. It is full of antioxidants. It has anti-inflammatory properties, and it's naturally very filling. So when you consume olive oil along with your meals, you tend to stay fuller for longer. So now I am going to give you an idea of what you could eat over the course of 5 days on a keto Mediterranean style diet. I am going to go over 5 different breakfasts, 5 different lunch, 5 different dinners, along with some snack ideas and even some dessert ideas. Now, for all of the ingredients in these meals, I want you to try and get the freshest, best quality ingredients you possibly can. So organic if you can, as fresh as you can, local if you can. When it comes to meats like the beefs, grass-fed, grass-finished beef if you can. Same thing with chicken, antibiotic-free, pasture-raised if you can. Okay, so let's start off with 5 different breakfasts. The first breakfast is an easy egg scramble. So you are going to do 2 scrambled eggs with 2 chopped mushrooms, a handful of spinach, and half of a Roma tomato. Chop everything up, scramble up the eggs, and season it with fresh herbs if possible. So basil, parsley, oregano, garlic powder if you don't have fresh garlic, and then salt and pepper. So fresh seasonings if you can, if not, dried is okay. So you are going to scramble all those ingredients together. And then when it's done, you can top it with feta cheese. Real feta cheese is actually made with sheep milk. You can find that in some American grocery stores. If not, the cow feta is okay. The second breakfast is a lox omelet. So you are going to make the omelet with 2 eggs. You are then going to use lox, which is salmon, for those of you who aren't familiar. And then you are going to use goat cheese for the filling. So the omelet is made with 2 eggs. You can season the eggs with whatever seasonings you like. The inside of the omelet is going to be lox and fresh goat cheese. Goat cheese is nice and creamy and easy to spread, and it tastes delicious with lox. Now, if you don't like lox, you can always swap that out for prosciutto or some kind of extremely clean, minimally processed lunch meat. Breakfast number 3 is going to be a Greek yogurt parfait. So 1 serving of Greek yogurt. This is unsweetened, full fat milk Greek yogurt. You can add stevia to it if you want it to be sweetened because it is completely unsweet. So if you're used to eating like a Yoplait yogurt, this is not going to taste good to you unless you sweeten it with some stevia. So 1 serving of Greek yogurt, a small handful of berries. I like blueberries. And then you can also add a small handful of chopped pecans or walnuts. That's a super easy breakfast that you can just throw together, super tasty, and the yogurt is actually quite filling. The 4th breakfast is actually a muffin. It is a keto lemon blueberry mug muffin. So this is a single serve muffin that you make in the microwave. You are going to combine in the mug 1 egg, 3 tablespoons of almond flour, the juice from 1 slice of lemon, a small handful of blueberries, add a little bit of stevia to taste to make it sweet. You stir it all up and then pop it in the microwave for 70 seconds. When it's done, it's going to be very hot, so I like to top it with a little bit of grass-fed butter and let it sit until it isn't so hot anymore, and then enjoy it while it's still warm. The 5th breakfast is super, super simple. It is 2 over medium eggs or over easy, whatever you prefer, with a side of the cleanest ground turkey sausage you can find. I like the ground turkey sausage because you can cut it into those like circular slices. And then I like to dip the cooked turkey sausage into the yolk of my eggs. So there you have it, 5 different ketogenic, Mediterranean styled breakfasts. Now let's move on to lunch. The first lunch is a grilled chicken breast with a side of Greek salad. Now, a traditional Greek salad actually doesn't have lettuce. Usually it consists of chopped up tomatoes, chopped up cucumbers, some chopped up red onion, a few Kalamata olives, and it's usually drizzled with olive oil and has fresh dill in it as well. I also like to top mine with some feta cheese and like a squeeze of lemon. It is so good. So take all those ingredients and throw it into a side salad and serve it along with your grilled chicken breast. Super easy, super simple, super delicious lunch. The second lunch would be a beef stir fry. So you can use either ground beef or cubed beef for this, whatever you prefer, but you'll cook the beef, and I like to actually cook in avocado oil, and I drizzle olive oil on my food just because avocado oil can handle higher heat. So cook up the beef, and then you are going to add half of a zucchini, around half or a fourth of a red bell pepper. I say red bell pepper because usually that's easier on your digestive system, but you can really use whatever color you prefer. And then also a somewhat thick slice of onion, and then I chop that up into smaller bits, and I add the vegetables into the beef stir fry. Cook it until the veggies are nice and tender. Season it with whatever seasonings you prefer. And of course, top it with some feta cheese and olive oil. And it is the most delicious stir fry, especially if you have fresh garlic and you put that in there to where the garlic is kind of charred. Oh my God, so good. The next lunch is a grilled chicken salad with tzatziki sauce. So a fresh bed of lettuce, whichever lettuce you prefer, some grilled chicken cut into cubes, and then I like to add a little bit of tomato, a little bit of red onion. I love olives, so I'll add some Kalamata olives in there as well. And then instead of dressing, I like to use tzatziki sauce. So tzatziki sauce is a Greek sauce made of Greek yogurt and cucumbers. You can find really easy, simple recipes online. Tzatziki sauce is naturally a keto sauce anyway, unless you find a recipe that adds sugar to it for some reason. Traditional tzatziki sauce does not have sugar, but you can find super, super simple, really easy recipes online for the tzatziki sauce, or you can buy it in store. What I love about this lunch is that it is a very voluminous lunch. So lower in calories for what it is, but it is really, really filling. This next lunch is perfect for if you're having one of those days where you don't really actually want to cook anything. You kind of want to just throw some things together and eat it. Maybe you're on a short lunch break. Maybe you just don't feel like cooking that day. I like to chop up some cucumbers, actually slice them up into just little rounds, and then I top them with a seasoned goat cheese. So at most grocery stores, you can find goat cheese that is like a garlic and herb style cheese. I'll put that on the slices of cucumber, and then I will top it with some prosciutto. It is so delicious, and you don't actually cook anything. You just kind of assemble it, and it is absolutely delicious. The fifth lunch is a tuna salad. So I like to buy the tuna that comes in the pouches, and I will add some Greek yogurt instead of mayonnaise. So the reason I say that is because most of the mayonnaise we buy has a lot of extra additives. It's okay if you make your own mayonnaise, but most people don't. But if you use unsweetened Greek yogurt, it actually has the consistency of mayonnaise and you don't notice a taste difference. So in a bowl, I'll add the cooked tuna from the pouch, and then I will also add the Greek yogurt instead of the mayonnaise. I'll add some mustard to taste, along with some relish and a chopped up hard-boiled egg. Mix that all together. You have a lovely tuna salad. And I also like to serve it with some of the sliced cucumber just for that added crunch. So that was 5 lunches. Now let's get into dinner. I really enjoy my seafood. So for dinner, I would cook a fillet of salmon and then along with it, that Greek salad from earlier. Remember the Greek salad I mentioned at lunch that doesn't actually have any lettuce in it? It's the chopped cucumbers and tomatoes and onions. So I will usually make a big batch of that actually in the beginning of the week, and then I'll have it with lunches and dinners throughout the week. So I will have a oven baked salmon along with a side of Greek salad. The next dinner is steak with broccoli and cherry tomatoes. I love a good New York strip. So I will season the steak to my liking and cook that. And then along with it, I will saute up some broccoli along with chopped cherry tomatoes. And then usually I will drizzle some olive oil and top that with feta cheese as well. And I'll season the vegetables however I like. So now you have a beautiful steak and side of broccoli with cherry tomatoes, feta cheese. You can even add in a little bit of onion if you want, or some garlic. It is so savory and delicious. Dinner number 3 is an ahi tuna steak with riced cauliflower. I love riced cauliflower because it tastes like nothing. So you can add whatever seasonings or sauces you want. And then I will cook the ahi tuna steak and put it on top of the bed of riced cauliflower. All of these meals are fairly easy. So even if you're not the best cook in the world, don't worry about it. It's pretty hard to mess these up. The 4th dinner is grilled chicken with asparagus and Alfredo sauce. So I would cook a grilled chicken breast, season it to your liking. I will also saute in a pan some asparagus. I like to saute mine in grass-fed butter. I'll usually add salt, pepper, garlic to it. And then what I like to do is off to the side, I'll actually make my own Alfredo sauce. So I'll do a little bit of butter, some heavy cream, some Parmesan cheese, a little olive oil, and then I'll season it with some Italian seasonings and some red pepper flakes. So I'll make this nice, rich, creamy Alfredo sauce, and I will pour it on top of the grilled chicken breast and serve it alongside the asparagus. Dinner number 5 is a Mediterranean lettuce wrapped burger. Once you've cooked your burger patty, you will top it with either goat cheese or feta cheese, some red onion, some tomato, wrap it in a lettuce wrap, and I love to dip mine in tzatziki sauce. And then a lot of times I will serve it alongside either the Greek salad again, or I actually really like to make kale chips. So you can take some kale chips and coat them in either olive oil or avocado oil, season them to your liking, pop them in the oven until they are crispy. And so then you get that little bit of crunch with your burger, almost like you're eating an American burger and chips, but far healthier. So just like that, that was 5 Mediterranean ketogenic dinners. I'm also going to give you a few snack and dessert ideas. So for snacks, a handful of nuts like walnuts or pecans or almonds or macadamia nuts make a good snack. Also, keeping just a couple hard-boiled eggs on hand make a great quick and easy grab-and-go snack as well. I also like to make chia seed pudding, which could be a snack, could be a dessert, but I will take a couple tablespoons of chia seeds and then pour about half a cup of unsweetened almond milk over them. Stir it up well. I'll add a little bit of stevia. I like the liquid stevia, so I'll do like a little squirt of stevia and then some cinnamon and mix that all up together. And then I will put it in a covered container in the fridge and let it sit overnight. So in the morning, what happens is those chia seeds actually gelatinize and it becomes almost like a rice pudding texture. That's pretty good. And then for desserts, my favorite dessert to make is berries and homemade whipped cream. So I will take a few blueberries, a few strawberries, a few raspberries, and then I will make my own whipped cream from just heavy cream and stevia. And I will whip that until it becomes whipped cream, put the berries on top. Bam, super easy, super sweet, delicious dessert. Another option is to make a hot chocolate. So on the stove, I will heat up a cup of unsweetened almond milk. I'll add around 3 tablespoons of heavy cream just to thicken it a little bit. I'll add stevia to taste, and then I will take 1 to 2 tablespoons of cacao powder, unsweetened cacao powder, just depending on how chocolatey you want it. And then I will let it simmer over the stove while I'm stirring it until everything is all nice and incorporated. And then bam, easy hot chocolate recipe. A third option is a chocolate mug cake. So similar to the mug muffin that we made for breakfast, we're still going to do the egg and the almond flour, but now we are going to add in a tablespoon of unsweetened cacao powder, add some stevia, mix that all up. Sometimes I'll even add a little peanut butter in there if I want kind of like a Reese's flavor going on. And I will still cook it for 70 seconds and then let it cool. And now you have a 1 serving chocolate mug cake. So that was just 5 days worth of eating. There are so many more ketogenic Mediterranean styled recipes out there. I also like to make a spaghetti, but instead of pasta, I'll use zoodles, but I'll still use the ground beef and the pasta sauce. I mean, there's just endless amounts, it seems like, ways to make ketogenic Mediterranean meals. Now, it feels that way to me because I've been eating this way for years, but when you're new to this style of eating, I totally understand how it seems like in the beginning it's so limited. I promise you it's really not. You'll get really creative. You start to learn a lot about food and you just find ways to combine these ingredients to make the most amazing, delicious meals. So eating like this is what helped me go from 224 pounds all the way down to 118 pounds. I was only 118 pounds because I was actually competing in a bodybuilding competition. I did a bikini competition. And then after that, I slowly got back to a healthy weight of 135 pounds. And I have been 135 pounds for several years now. The way I lost the weight is from eating this way. And the way I have maintained my weight is from eating this way. I hope this video was helpful. Please let me know if you decide to try any of these meals. Please also don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you found this video helpful. I appreciate it so very much. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.